Ahoj, vítejte na mém kanále Czech by Zuzka, kde vám pomocí angličtiny vysvětluju českou gramatiku. Today I would like to have a look at some time expressions that we often use in Czech, and they are often translated a bit differently in English. From my experience teaching English-speaking students, I know that sometimes in their head they want to translate words such as last night, as in minulou noc, or this morning, as in tohle ráno, which makes sense, but that's not the first option that we say in Czech. Stay with me and you will find out how to say this correctly like a native speaker. Before we begin, I would like to review with you some expressions that we use for parts of the day. So in Czech, when we want to say in the morning or morning, we say ráno, ráno. And we can also say dopoledne. Dopoledne means late morning. It would be something like between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. But if you just say ráno, it is okay for morning. Sometimes it is convenient to distinguish between these two. Ráno a dopoledne. Odpoledne, which means afternoon. So I know that some people tend to confuse them. We have dopoledne, late morning, odpoledne, afternoon. By the way, do you know what is poledne? Poledne is noon. So noon is the division. Noon, poledne is what we refer to. Dopoledne is till the noon and odpoledne is from the noon, literally. Then we have večer. Večer means evening. Noc is night. But v noci means at night. So one important thing, when you talk about different parts of the day, you would use adverbs. You would say in the morning, in the afternoon, etc. In Czech, we also have adverbs, and those are the same ones that I just mentioned. Ráno, dopoledne, odpoledne, večer, v noci. Those are adverbs. When we ask when is it? Kdy? V noci. V noci jsem špatně spala. I slept badly at night. But we also have nouns, which would be almost the same except for one. So if you want to say the morning, you say ráno, and then the late morning is dopoledne, the same thing. Odpoledne is the afternoon. Večer is the evening, but careful, the night is noc. So that's the difference. V noci, at night, versus noc, the night. So how do we say this morning? As in, this morning I overslept. So I said it's not tohle ráno. We would say dnes ráno or dneska ráno, which means today morning, literally. This morning I overslept. Dneska ráno jsem zaspala. Dneska ráno jsem zaspala. What is the difference between dnes and dneska? Dnes is more formal than dneska. Dneska is probably what you are going to hear more from people around you. This afternoon would be exactly the same thing. Dnes odpoledne. So what about tonight? Tonight is obviously dnes večer. Dneska večer. Dneska večer půjdu spát brzo. Tonight I'm gonna go to bed early. Dneska večer půjdu spát brzo. Or it could also be dneska v noci. Depends if I really mean the night, like night time or evening. Dneska večer, dneska v noci. Last night is včera večer. We follow the same logic. Yesterday, evening. Last night or včera v noci. Včera v noci mě probudil komár. Last night I was woken up by a mosquito. Včera v noci mě probudil komár. The next day. The next day is druhý den, meaning the second day. I spent the whole day traveling and the next day I was exhausted. Celý den jsem cestovala a druhý den jsem byla vyčerpaná. Celý den jsem cestovala a druhý den jsem byla vyčerpaná. The next morning. What do you think? Are we gonna say druhé ráno? No, we're gonna say druhý den ráno. Druhý den ráno, the next morning. Peter went to bed late and the next morning he overslept. Petr šel spát pozdě a druhý den ráno zaspal. Petr šel spát pozdě a druhý den ráno zaspal. Now let's look at years. How do you say last year in Czech? Well, we can say minulý rok. That's okay, yes. But for informal Czech, we usually say loni. Just two-syllable word. Loni. I started studying Czech only last year. Teprve loni jsem se začal učit češtinu. Teprve loni jsem se začal učit češtinu. And the same way you can say the year before last, you can say předminulý rok. That's okay too, předminulý. But also you can say předloni, předloni. The year before last, I didn't even know Czech existed. Předloni jsem ani nevěděl, že čeština existuje. Předloni jsem ani nevěděl, že čeština existuje. Taková škoda, co? What a shame, right? And the same way, this year, you can say tento rok or tenhle rok. Again, the difference between tento and tenhle is that tento is formal, tenhle is informal, and that's what we use more when we speak. But we can say letos. Letos, a two-syllable word. Letos means this year. Letos je všechno jinak. This year everything is different. Letos je všechno jinak. How do you think we say next year? Okay, we can say příští rok. Yes, příští rok. And do you think we have another word for that? Like we had letos, loni, and something. We don't. We don't, unfortunately. I am surprised we don't, but maybe in the future. And I have a bonus phrase for you. At that moment in Czech can be said v tu chvíli. Also v ten moment, but again, chvíle is more Czech. V tu chvíli, at that moment. Probudila jsem se a v tu chvíli jsem zjistila, že je 11 hodin. I woke up and at that moment I found out it's 11. Probudila jsem se a v tu chvíli jsem zjistila, že je 11 hodin. If you were talking about something in the far past, you could also say tehdy, which is more like then, tehdy. George byl poprvé v České republice před 5 lety. Tehdy ještě nevěděl, že tam bude bydlet. First time George was in the Czech Republic was 5 years ago. He didn't know then that he would live there. George byl poprvé v České republice před 5 lety. Tehdy ještě nevěděl, že tam bude bydlet. Tehdy. Let's do a little exercise. Dámy a pánové, to je ode mě všechno. Napište mi, co jste se dneska naučili nového. Těším se na vás příští týden. Ahoj.